Good morning, good evening, disregarding your present location upon this brilliantly blue oblique spheroid maybe. No matter your location on this bright blue oblique spheroid may be, no matter what spoken or telepathic wavelength your pan-dimensional universal translator is set to. Yes, dear listener, you seem to have been intrinsically motivated to dial yourselves into this absolutely 100% live transmission of the next dimension. With yours truly, Dr. D-Railz, the robot fighter, along with fearless Tibor, the Moldovan wizard smith and Otacon exterminator, who gives the boots to the ethereal alien assassin's medium style in the surrounding land, seas, and moons. Sometimes there's seas on the moons.
Yakshamayish, everybody.
And it's Saturday, April 13th, 2019. You're listening to Atlan Internet Radio.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Coming up this episode of AIR14, that's 14 episodes in a row. Yes, dear listener. If you don't believe we're serious now, 14 in a row, that'll probably clue you in that we mean business here. We got all sorts of cutting, breaking, edge, strange, weird news all across the slushy, muddy outskirts of our galaxy. So please allow Tibor and I to inform and entertain you for the next 181 minutes with guaranteed 3 hours of rock and metal up to the minute, current revelations of breaking weird news, and a relaxing Ruderalis Rastafari reggae break at 11 minutes after 11. So auditorily observe as Tibor and I proverbially stoke the interdimensional robot war into a frenzy by jabbing the artificial foolishness, the unnatural intelligence hive, while bringing you this program this evening at Lane Internet Radio. AIR14 of the Next Dimension is rolled out and lit up by our sponsors, Ruderalis, the letter M, and the super spirit and voice of the salmon, Slippery Salmon. And last time I checked, this is a rock and roll show. And thank King Selassie. T-War's here, otherwise I'd be doing this alone.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance. This transmission, you are the resistance. You are the resistance. Seeking this transmission, you are the resistance.
Don't ask me why I feel, I just know I feel this way. I stand alone today.
Coming up this week. First off, that was Jackal. Zah, stand alone today. Actually, I got Tibor with me. I'm gonna do the next dimension till they take me away. So this first one's about Julian Assange. Julian Assange mystery over cat belonging to WikiLeaks founder after his removal from Ecuadorian embassy. His cat probably had a USB thing on its collar like some movie. They're taking him away here. We have a video here. Where's this at? My friend Tibor, this is a United Kingdom.
He's from Ecuadorian embassy.
This is the Ecuadorian embassy. There's United Kingdom police bus pulling up at the embassy. Julian Assange kept a lot of secrets while he was cooped up in a cramped corner room at the Ecuadorian embassy in London. But his 7-year tenure there ended on Thursday. One final mystery captured the attention of the international community. What will happen to the cat at the embassy? Oh, little meowser. Poor little meowser. Hopefully you brush and feed him. The asylum seeker's furry friend was Assange's only consistent companion during some of his lonely years as a self-styled political refugee, like Tesla and his cat. The cat had a significant internet following of his own, though its views have hewed suspiciously close to its humans, and was apparently a fixture at the embassy. Was attacking the Christmas tree and eating the tinsel. And for diffusing tension at the WikiLeaks founder, he had to fight all the world leaders. But I think he just got extradited, didn't he, Tibor? What happened with Assange?
He has been shut down, taken away, grabbed by the big hand of the big brother.
The stark fist of removal.
But has anyone really thought about this cat? Maybe.
I care about the cat.
The cat is actually brains behind the operation, is now running free, has microchip, is being chased by Tom Cruise.
I bet he's got a chip in his collar. Like a USB thumb drive. Not unlike the one you're listening to the show on this if you're listening to the next dimension AIR14 in the future, because that'll be the way to do it.
It's not the brain cat. It's not Pinky and the brain cat. It's
What's
mouse.
the cat's name?
It's Mouse.
Can we scroll down and see what kind of cat it was?
Yes.
Okay, it was named for its famous home, but occasionally went by James or Castro after the Cuban leader Fidel Castro's death in 2016. Isn't that our Prime Minister's dad? Justin Castro?
Looks quite a bit like.
I think so. I think in the absolute clown world of Canada, we've got news here on Tent City and Nanaimo coming up. We're discussing this in the Moldovan Tibor Mobile on the way to the coffee shop and back.
Trucks driving over tents, boats burning up.
There's lots of insane things that are happening. And we're watching carefully in our Galactic Happenstance Consolidation Unit.
From pillbox layer using Palantir.
Yes, because we're in a multiple dimension
Technologies
multiverse.
travel between universes. There is not one universe. There are many. A multiverse. We have the technology to travel between universes. There is not one you. There are many. Each of us exists in present time in parallel universes. There was balance in the system, but now a force exists who seeks to destroy the balance.
Dr. Slayer.
crystal. It was a crystal. It was a crystal. Held by two metallic hands.
Saw the train coming. I saw the train hit the truck. Now I'm watching the train derail. Coming, I saw the truck parked on the truck. So I saw the train hit the truck. Now I'm watching the train derail. And that there was the headline from Bloomberg, John.
There are many things you can begin doing right now. Fireproof housekeeping is one. So clean up that attic.
Every time I try to leave it behind me, something reminds me of every night the dreams return on me. To be wrapped around your road, and I wait
thing straight right up with a tooth fairy. Because he's rotting in a Turkish jail. Will you hurry up with those disguises? One of those mindless pod people are my family.
Okay, Mr. Duckman, but may I say I don't think you should just dismiss the notions of miracles. It's a miracle every time a new leaf grows, every time a newborn baby cries.
Every time you shut up and do what I tell you.
The Eyes of the Stranger from Queensryche. Operation Live Crime. I think, or it's off of their newer album. Actually sounds like a newer one. Is the audacity levels work? Okay, good. Yeah, it sounds like it's a new one. Let me check my notes here. It says is live in Sweden. Sweden Rock Festival. Live. See if there's any more information I can get you on it. It's from 2010. That's when I got it. No, actually, no. 2006. Queensryche, Sweden Rock Festival. At a respectable 196 kilobytes per second. The last news story we had was on Assange's cat. We're worried about the cat. What's going to happen to it? I hope that someone's going to take care of it. The little fuzzy. Update on that Ben Tyner, the missing 6'4", 250-pound American cowboy that was missing from Nickel Lake Ranch. He's 32 years old, Wyoming cowboy, and they're still looking for him. They're expecting foul play, and it's warming up, so they got the dogs out. They're looking for him. Just a little extra bonus thing on there.
They always get their man.
Yeah, like the Mounties. So here's something I told someone about. I think it was my dad. I told him that they're worried about stuff, how it's going, and we don't talk about politics too much, but I said, if there's going to be another president the way that it's going, I figure it's going to go so crazy that they're going to have a hologram as a president, and a Chinese hologram at that. And just so happens there's a news story here that's off of Engadget.com. Andrew Yang, 3D hologram rallies. He plans to host events in multiple places at once. T-War asked me if it's possible to be in multiple places at once. And it is if you just split your image or your into a bunch of holograms. You could have a whole bunch of you there in the same place, but it can't be two yous, the same yous in the same place. Because it's like some interdimensional law that you're not allowed to be in the same place at the same time if you're yourself, unless you're a copy of yourself.
To me, is like old days and future. You have bread and circuses. Egyptians used to give hieroglyphs and beer on Saturday night.
Time for fear.
And then, in old days, in 30s, they used to give you movies. And now you get holograms like in Quark Suite.
Quark Suite? Are you talking about the next generation with Quark?
Yes, he had the hologram suite where you could go like in the Lovejoy Lounge in Toronto. But you got used to ride horse in hologram suite.
So you're talking about Quark the Ferengi?
Yes.
Do we get a clip of that? A Ferengi clip we were watching before it. I had turned around. I was laughing. I was like, what the heck? The Ferengis were talking about humans and how they're worried about them.
Yes.
Or what was their concern about humanity?
Well, Quark's going to tell us right now.
sooner we get out of here, the better. That soldier over there, you see his necklace? Those are Ketracel white tubes.
So?
You know how he got them?
Mail order?
He took them off the bodies of dead Jemadar. Jemadar that he killed. It's his way of keeping score.
And you find that impressive?
Isn't it?
I don't think so. Take a look around you, Nog. This isn't the Starfleet you know.
Quark's nephew's name is Nog.
Sure it is. It's just that these people have been through a lot. They've been holed up here a long time.
He's vouching for humanity.
Seen 2/3 of the unit killed. But they haven't surrendered. Do you know why? Because they're heroes.
Maybe. But I still don't want you anywhere near them.
The reason why they're talking in hushed whispers is because they have ears the size of the entire size of their head. The Ferengis.
People, as long as their bellies are full and their holosuites are working. But take away their creature comforts. Deprive them of food, sleep, sonic showers. Put their lives in jeopardy over an extended period of time, and those same friendly, intelligent, wonderful people will become as nasty and as violent as the most bloodthirsty Klingon. You don't believe me?
Did you hear that?
Those faces.
Look at those faces.
Look in their eyes.
Look in their eyes.
You know I'm right, don't you?
Doesn't mind making money on us, so.
So, Quark was talking about how when the humans are starving, they'll turn into the nastiest, most vicious Klingons. But I see it's not time for fear.
Calm down, Doctor. Now's not the time for fear. That comes later.
That comes later. Time for fear.
That comes later.
So they're going to buy up all the good stuff in the shopping centers anyway. That's what I figure is going to happen if there's something bad happens.
What do you want?
Like to buy some groceries.
Business starts at 9.
Well, what do you gross between 9 and 5?
A couple of hundred, maybe.
How's that to make that in half an hour?
Oh, come in. Come in. You name it, I'll tell you why I ain't got it.
Shiver this morning.
Ain't every day I start off with a customer like you.
Are you ready to deal?
Ready as a crouched cat.
Fine. Well, give us a bag of flour. I'll make that 2 bags. Big ones. Couple pounds of baking soda.
Are you starting a bakery?
Yeah, a bakery. You got any cartons to put this stuff in?
Yeah, right over there.
Kids, get those cartons, please. Now, I think we'd need about a dozen pounds of coffee.
You can have what's left.
We'll take them. No, Karen, no liquids. Get a half a dozen jars of honey and plenty of candy bars. And we need a big bag of dried beans. Up, Rick. No eggs. Too hard to store. Get some canned fruit. We need some condensed milk and a big can of shortening. I think that about does it. Now, I need some matches and 2 boxes of candles.
Oh, yeah,
And
speaking of
pick up a
matches.
case of soap.
Why do you need all those candles?
We're thinking of opening a candlelight restaurant.
And all that soap? Are your customers going to have to shower before they eat?
So that was a clip from Year Zero. So before the nuclear bombs hit, the one guy got tipped off and he took his family and he bought everything out in the store. That's why the guy asked him if he was opening up a store. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, he said, you got any matches? He asked, because we got to let you know, because if you're listening to the Next Dimension with yours truly, D-Railz, the robot fighter, and Tibor, the Moldovan wizard smith, and Archon exterminator, you might hear a little bit of riggedy Rastafari reggae music coming out of your radio at 11 minutes after 11. Rest assured, it's still the Next Dimension. It's just the riggedy Rastafari Ruderalis reggae break. So get your important document, your matches, your lighter, your papers, and get ready for 11 minutes after 11. It's the riggedy Rastafari break coming up. When the ones line up on your digital clock or radio at home or your electric stove at home. So we got a presidential candidate that's going to be in multiple places at one time with holograms. Coming up next, we'll have a story about tracking devices, tracking your every move. Because did I mention that we live in a panopticonic technological socialist regime controlled by solid-state intelligence robots from another dimension? Who are crystalline in nature?
Studies that show that, but I also see ads everywhere now getting everybody ready for microchips in pills that Big Pharma is putting out.
You got it. Well, ultimately, Alex, as you know, probably better than anybody else, the plan is to microchip every physical object on Earth, every tree, every bumblebee. They've actually done that. They've actually put tiny little microchips on bumblebees.
Smart dirt. And the Pentagon says they can then search the real world like Google and actually predict the future. They're attempting to build a computerized crystal ball is their holy grail. A computerized crystal ball and actually and then search the real world.
It was a crystal
Google
held by two
and actually predict the future. They're attempting to build a computerized crystal ball.
For receiving this transmission.
projection give the projectionist an opportunity to adjust the sound level and focus the lens before the start of the picture. In a moment, the focus chart of music will appear, followed by 5 seconds of darkened screen before the actual picture begins.
Founders of Google said, when asked, hey, what do you want Google to ultimately become? They said, like the mind of God. So you're looking at that going, okay, so you guys want to know everything about everything at all times, which is exactly what God does. God is omniscient and omnipotent, and, you know, Google and IBM and all these companies, they're angling for that same kind of power and control.
P.O. Box
and that's where you get into
666
all of the
Bermuda.
microchipping. That's also where you get
That's
into
where all the
of
money goes from
products
Google,
that
from
spy on people.
Skynoog.
And I always make a point of saying anytime I have an opportunity,
Filthy Skynoog!
or even if you don't have a Gmail account, but you write to someone with a Gmail account, Google reads all of your email. They take all the keywords out of there, and they put them into a database with your name at the top, so they know what you're writing to people about. I've even had the creepy experience where someone wrote to me through my radio show at CatherineAlbrecht.com. They just sent me an email, and I wrote them back, and then they said it was the creepiest thing. Our email had nothing to do with RFID, but they...
So Elon Musk said the only way to prevent a rogue artificial intelligence system from going berserk is to take a human and merge the human with it, with a neural link. That's Neuralink, Elon Musk's corporation. The computers have no consciousness, no empathy. Musk says to integrate, to give it aspects it doesn't have. I think stay the heck away from the Neuralink website. Neuralink scans your brain and downloads it.
Okay.
Was Dr. Peter Bader right?
I have a question for you, Dr. D-Rail.
Yeah, man, I'm listening.
The latest episode of Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about the new episode of Star Trek.
So they have to go in time to escape AI.
We're talking about control, the artificial foolishness.
Well,
You're
control
very
is control is name of this intelligence comes from computers and data. So I am wondering if this last episode coming up this week could be very exciting.
Well, they already wrote.
I wonder.
They put Pikey in.
I got
his
one.
barium box is beeping barium box, and Tibor, you called it.
I know.
You called it on episode 5.
I got
as soon
question.
As you've seen Pikey, you
I got question.
Yeah.
It's question. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm listening.
Its question is.
Honest on it.
Yeah. The question is: are they setting up Borg?
They must be setting up the Borg.
Is this Borg coming now?
It must be the Borg prequel. But I'll tell you what. The stuff they showed me that came out of Leland after that thing grabbed the back of his head like a basketball full of mercury and pumped it into his head full of nanites. They pumped so much nanites into him. It was a heck of a lot of nanites. Nanites are little tiny robots that go in your bloodstream.
Is that Pike's beeping box I hear?
No, that was the intro. The intro clip. I'm very happy to say that I got my No Friendo 3DS working, and I can do amazing things with it.
Tibor has a relaxed night tonight.
Yeah, we're just chilling. We're going to chill and do this show. It's number 14. 14 weeks in a row. We deserve a pat on the back or something.
Got 10 more left in the 2-4.
The last... Oh, yeah. That's awesome. And it is Saturday.
That's
you should be enjoying
each,
yourselves.
Yes.
You know, it's Saturday night. Have a good time. Slippery Salmon's here. He's having a good time. He doesn't have a beer right now, but he's in the attaché case. He's working. He's sorting his Pokemon cards out. He's a young salmon. He's working on what he's going to say. Last show he talked about he wanted the hardcore listeners that are multimillionaires to go to the Home Depot and buy a box of river rock and dump it back in the river like the smoothed out stones they have. They back a truck up and suck that right out of the river, and then they bag it for $13 a bag for a little bag about the size of a medium bag of sugar, and they sell that.
Well,
but the salmon been rubbing against those for millions of years to get them that way. Now they're in someone's
pretty
driveway.
Good penance for eco religiosos.
Yeah, well,
they could, instead of harassing us and charging us climate tax, they could put rock in river.
They could put rock in river. They could do something. You know what I mean? Because I look around, a hamster doesn't question its cage. It doesn't question its owner. Like how we don't question the scientists that are messing with us. How we don't question the grid they place us in. How we don't question the big box stores that keep us nutritionally deficient and always coming back with their sugars, their fats, and their carbohydrates. If there's, like what Ranger Rory told me, if the internet was actually not an evil Malthusian thing, you could take a memory card thing the size of a memory card and take a drop of your tap water and put a drop of tap water in it and then plug it into your computer, and it would go on the national database for Canada, and it would tell you what your water stands up to the rest of Canada. But unfortunately, these computers are just tracking systems to try and reprogram us. That's why they call it control. It's programming. But I think they stepped on their meat doing the Star Trek, because now people are going to start to realize that the panopticonic technological socialist regime is real.
Borg is real.
We've been talking about it for a long time. And if there is artificial intelligence out there, the positronic brain and whatnot, it sure as heck isn't coming from this planet. It's been created thousands, maybe tens of thousands of years ago, and lives on out in the universe in crystalline format in other dimensions. We've seen it in the Doctor Strange movie when he was floating around through different parallel dimensions. There was one when it was completely crystals. It's called externalization of the hierarchy. They want to show us these things. They want to tell us these things.
Predictive programming.
Predictive programming. We got some really good music too coming up. We got some orchestrated. Well, I'm playing orchestrated background music from all sorts of things in the background, so you guys can't take my words and Harry Tasker me and tell, say to take the helicopter in Operation Gladio or something. You know what I mean with my voice?
In Running Man.
And also with the background music, the artificial intelligence can't sideload my mind into a computer and make a computer program out of me like Philip K. Dick, not to be a dick about it. But the Philip K. Dick robot is sideloaded into a robotic data set. Artificial and foolishness learned from it. Is it actually Philip K. Dick? Is it KD? Philip KD? It's got to be KD to be KD, man. It ain't.
Quadrant 187, Northwest Quadrant 187, Northwest Quadrant 187, 187, Northwest Quadrant.
I don't believe
187, Northwest Quadrant 187.
What's a 187?
Northwest
I don't know.
Quadrant. Cryoprison, level 6. Identify code 187.
We got a news thing coming up here.
MDK.
Is from
murder,
Times.
Death, kill, murder, death,
The
kill.
Big Up.
Murder, death, kill.
Murder, death, kill.
Last recorded offense, September 25th, 2010. Kill, murder, death, kill.
Murder, death, kill. Murder, death, kill. Murder, death, kill.
Death, kill. Murder, death, kill. I don't know. Cryoprison, level 6.
Identify.
You guys get the idea. That was off Demolition Man. It's one of my favorite movies before they stopped making good movies.
Like Total Recall.
Yeah, Total Recall. They redid that one without Mars in it. Obviously, there's pyramids on Mars if they redid Total Recall without pyramids on Mars. They had Colin Farrell building robots on the other side of the planet. That was the most sad excuse for a sequel ever. It's just to destroy the old, most amazing movie ever done. That was it was a Stephen King movie too,
they
wasn't
did
it?
with so many movies. Time Machine.
Yeah, The Time Machine's a good book too.
The first one with Rod Taylor's great. The new one with Guy Pearce, I don't know. It's not good. Anyway, we have a big article here.
This one's about tracking phone Skynoog is a dragnet for the Popo. The giant tech records people's locations worldwide. Now investigators are using it to find suspects and witnesses near crimes, running the risk of snaring the innocent with pre-crimes. What do they got, precogs? When detectives in Phoenix suburb arrested a warehouse worker in a murder investigation last December, they credited a new technique with breaking open the case after other leads went cold. The police told the suspect, Jorge Milana, the data tracking his phone to the site where a man was shot 9 months earlier. They had made the discovery of obtaining a search warrant that required Google Skynuke to provide information on all the devices it recorded near the killing. Okay, where was I? Where did it go? Oh, near the killing, potentially capturing the whereabouts of anyone in the area. Investigators had also other circumstantial evidence, including security video of someone firing a gun from a white Honda Civic, the same model that Mr. Molina owned, though they could not see the license plate or attacker. But after he spent half a week in jail, the case against Mr. Molina fell apart as investigators learned new information and released him last month. The police arrested another man, his mother's ex-boyfriend, who had sometimes used Mr. Molina's car. So maybe it was Mr. Molina's car and a guy was leaning out shooting. Here's a picture of him. Jorge Molina, Goodyear, Arizona. He looks like, scroll it up just a little bit. Take a look at the picture of this guy here. He looks pretty rough, hardcore dude. He looks like, what's that, Better Call Saul? He looks like one of the Mexican cartel gangsters.
Not so
out
bad,
there.
maybe MS-9.
He's wearing, like, black. He's got, yeah, he kind of looks like he could be ISIS or something, too. Scroll it down. Everyone's got the beard going on. I mean, Tibor, you're a Moldovan wizard smith. You deserve a beard because you're a wizard. These other guys are just doing it for a fad or something.
I have hair like Brillo pad. Needs very sharp razor.
You're like the Beast. You're like, what's that guy on the Michael Goldblum on The Fly trying to shave after he's, the fur comes in and it's breaking the blades off of his razor because
like
the hairs are so thick.
Fred Flintstone, where he shaves right away, comes right back.
Yeah. Doesn't that happen with Homer, too?
Yes, it does.
As soon as he shaves? That's a going thing. Why don't we have... You know, they took our Friends away. They took The Simpsons away. They took The Family Guy away. They took... I don't know, Garfield used to be a good cartoon show.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Rocky and Bullwinkle, Hanna-Barbera. They destroy everything. What kind of cartoons have they got now, Tibor? Nothing. Anyway, back to Skynuke.
They got Rick
So
and
they
Morty.
arrested a guy that never did it. But he looked like that he could have did it anyway. So he didn't have GSR residue, gun-firing residue on him, I guess. The Arizona case demonstrates the promise and perils of the new investigative technique. Pre-crime? What are you kidding? So that happened with Tommy Robinson in the United Kingdom. Steve. I don't know what his real name. There's a guy called Tommy Robinson. His name's Steve. And Ezra Levant of Rebel Media has been following this guy. And he got charged with a pre-crime. Because he never did anything at the pub. He was with his kids at the pub watching a football game, but someone seen him and they know he was anti-establishment, and they called the popo on him, and the guys came, the Sarge came, and they ejected him, and they followed him down the street, and he got charged. He has to pay the police department $30,000, and there's a gag order on it. He's not allowed to talk. But Ezra said he messed up because he didn't use high-powered, high-priced lawyers that they could have afforded him. He used crappy lawyers. I think they're gonna take him out, because if he goes to prison again, he's not gonna come back. You know what I mean? They're gonna get him in there. It's a big plan. Like, there's got to be another Renaissance era. It can't keep going down this dystopian future, man.
Death of 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, death of 1,000 annoyances. Anyway, that's a pre-crime thing.
Web. They have giant web, and we are in it.
The guy spent a week in the slam, and he didn't even do nothing.
They figured he might create trouble sometime.
Well, he will now. He's going to sue him for money. They're going to be out a whole bunch of money now. Like Cotter, welcome back Cotter in Canada. I don't know how many $1 million they gave him, but he was an ISIS guy that blew up a whole bunch of people. And he sued the government and got a whole bunch of money. How smart is that?
It's time to check our cam.
We got to check
We got the tweaker cam.
We're checking Everett, Washington right now for what's happening on their tent city. We're going to be covering the Nanaimo tent city. Where's the other tent city, Tibor?
He's 2 in Nanaimo. And there's this one in Everett, Washington, very
36th
close.
Street and Smith Avenue, Everett, Washington.
And nobody's there tonight.
No, they must be listening to the show. They must be indoors at the shelter.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers.
Boy, there was a time when this place was hopping. I think the camera cleared everybody out.
There must be something
one
going
guy. He's standing there all alone.
He must know we're watching. They must have a TV seeing how people are watching.
He's standing in rain, staring at camera. Now he's turning very slowly.
And guaranteed we'll have more weird news because everything's weird.
This is Mendelson Joe from Toronto.
It's for Tibor.
Everything is weird, and everything is weird, and everything is weird that I see and I hear.
Be my guest. Oh, no, what do you think we are? Moochers? Come on, let's go. Thanks. How much we weigh, Pop? Be my guest. Oh, no, what do you think we are? Moochers? Come on.
And everything is weird, and everything is
The burgers
weird
are
that I
fine.
see and I hear.
Nice and juicy, just the way
And everything is weird, and everything is weird that I see and I hear. Turn on the television. Everything is weird, and everything is weird, and everything is weird that I see and I hear. CBS News, I choose to lose. I like Walter Cronkite. He's all right, right? But what about Eric Severin? He got Severin. Old age. That's right. That's right. Everything. I say everything is weird, and everything is weird, and everything is weird that I see and I hear. And everything is weird, and everything is weird, and everything is weird that I see and I hear. I say, what about nuclear reactors?
Oh, they're safe.
And what about prostitution?
Oh, sex is dirty.
And I say, what about Prime Minister who? Who? And I say, what about me, you, us, them? That's right. Everything. That's right. everything is weird, and everything is weird, and everything is weird that I see and I hear. And everything, I say everything, and everything is weird that I see and I hear. I said everything is weird, and everything is weird, and everything is weird that I see and I hear. I said everything, I say everything, I say everything. I said everything is weird, and everything is weird, and everything is weird that I see and I hear. And everything is weird, and everything is weird, and everything is weird that I see and I hear. I said everything. I said everything. I said everything. And everything. And everything. And everything. I said everything. I said everything. I said everything. I said everything. Everything. I said everything is weird and I see and I hear. I said everything weird and everything is weird and everything is weird that I see and I hear. I said everything.
Everything is weird. You're not going to hear that anywhere else. Just on Atlan Internet Radio. AIR14 of the Next Dimension. With your host, as always, Dr. D-Railz and Tibor, the Moldovan Wizard Smith. And I have that song because Tibor gave it to me. I got it on my Shard drive.
Mendelssohn Joe was his fabulous character. Used to go to Parliament Hill back in 70s. He would starve himself on steps of Parliament for nuclear disarmament.
Well, you know, it's a really good thing, and they're never going to let go of their weapons. They're never going to let go of any power they have. But Mendelssohn, he'll go down in history as, I don't know, he's my hero. Because at the old station, KSAN, Tibor in the morning, you know, when the radio station fires up in the morning, we'd get there after we did our horrible job at like 5:30 in the morning, and he'd play this song, and it's called It's So Great to Be Here in Canada. In Canada. What was that? How did that song go? It's so great to be here in Canada. It's Ren and Stimpy. We should sing it. It's our national anthem.
Line athwart a continent. No chain of forts, or deep-flowing river, or mountain range, but a line drawn by men upon a map nearly a century ago, accepted with a handshake and kept ever since. A boundary which divides two nations, yet marks their friendly meeting ground. The 49th parallel, the only undefended frontier in the world.
Fine work, Herr.
Magnificent, Herr Commandant.
So the curtain rises on Canada.
I'm going to leave you with a pretty happy song, which I wrote in 1972 in Lake Opiongo. And some people say, where's that? Well, it's in Algonquin Park. It's so nice to be in Canada. In Canada. In Canada. It's so nice to be right here in Canada. In Canada, my home and native land.
Hey, Slippery Salmon, you want to join in?
I have drank the waters in Lake Obiango, but not Lake Ontario. Not just yet.
There's too many float homes.
Well, a deputy sheriff, he bought me dinner in Rimbey, and that's in Alberta. But that ain't Kettleby. But it still tasted nice. It's so nice to be here in Canada. In Canada. In Canada.
I love Canada.
It's so nice to be right here in Canada. In Canada, my home, native land. I have heard the news, and I've got the blues in Wawa and in Ottawa.
That's where the horrible Parliament
and
building
in
is.
Hull. But there's one place that I missed, and I do regret it. It ain't Port Credit. You know, I miss South Dildo, Newfoundland.
Staying out of Newfoundland because I'm a slippery salmon. So slippery and salmon.
It's so nice to be. You could sing with me in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. In Canada, oh, I feel so loved. It's so nice to be right here in Canada. In Canada, my home and native land.
I knew you'd like that.
Every morning I used to play waking everybody up. It's a radio station, KSAM.
Good old KSAM, Cato's own classic rock. I do the radio. I need me some sand. Some K-sand. Take a break? Maybe not. Coming up. Holy jeez, did we do a news story or are we just talking about Canada? Mental sin. Okay, here's the news story.
He's from Times again. New York Times.
It's a scary one.
2 ones in a row.
This is, we were talking about the eugenics program before. We talked about how the eugenics movement moved underground into doctors, therapists, high-powered lawyers. Because they want to water down the human.
They want to get rid of the undesirables, sometimes known as deplorables.
They don't even know what the superhuman race is. That's why they have that DNA testing. They want to test your DNA to see if you're the superhuman. I know who it is, and I'm not going to tell you. Doctors use electrical implant to aid brain-damaged women. A pilot study offers a very promising start in the effort to help people recover from traumatic brain injuries. It shows a picture of a CAT scan of a human brain, a human face, and it shows an implant right at the basal cortex of the stem, right above the medulla oblongata. A colored magnetic resonance imaging of a healthy brain with a thalamus highlighted. Stimulation to the thalamus helped a woman with brain injury regain some function. Had a discussion whether or not the brain was just a distributor cap to give electricity to the rest of your body, or is it a computer, a biological computer? Some people think it's a biological computer. I think it's just like, maybe it's got a Wi-Fi antenna in it. You know what I mean? You look at it, it's kind of like a computer, but it's not a computer. It's more of a distributor cap.
One time,
because I think your mind encompasses your area, the area you're encompassing, like your visualization range and spectrum. It's a big hologram of waving tentacle-like entity things emanating out of you, and that's what it is. It's an energy thing.
Seems to me, happened to me once. I don't think brain is mind. I think mind is something different.
Yeah, me too.
Because one time I was lifting pinball machine, and I was carrying and hurt my back. I ended up on table. Then they gave me some kind of narcotic, and I was floating above my body, looking down, seeing the universe and all the things that were going on, being ripped by the horrors and the travesties of the crazy bone-breaking sawbones down on Earth. And I'm flying around up in space looking at everything. That is how I know brain and mind is two different things. And what is it when you're dreaming? Are you in this reality? Are you in some other? Are you inside your head where this wonderful movie is?
Multiple realities, multiple dimensions.
How could this be?
The universe is infinite. The infinite means that anything you can imagine. We're talking about xenopolitics in different biological alien life forms, and there was a theory from that drive-in with Rick. Remember that Rick guy? You're showing me the videos when he drives in with his car and he crash lands.
Yes,
there's a TV
Commander
show on PBS,
Rick.
Commander Rick.
Prisoners of Gravity.
They were talking about xenomorph aliens and how they always pick the humanoid, bionoid type aliens when really they could be like giant flatworms on the surface of Jupiter that are hyper intelligence. That, they had to grow that way because of their relative planet size and gravity mass. Well, they just found another planet that is 17 times the weight of Jupiter. This means giants exist. We might very well be a form of giant too. There might be little life forms out there too that come visit us. I mean, there's got to be infinite types of life forms out there, Tibor. You know what I mean? There's like a whole planet of like a cat planet and a dog planet and all sorts of stuff like that. You know what I mean? What do you think?
Now we go back to Star Trek Enterprise. There is a planet called Xindi. On this planet, there are 5 races, used to be 6. The 1/6 race, the race that got wiped out, was called the avian race. They flew around. They got the aquatic race, who evolved in the ocean. They got the arboreals, who evolved in the trees and looked like apes. You got the humanoids, that kind of look a little bit like us. You got the reptoids, who are in the very hot desert. So, all these different environments caused evolution in different ways, and the sentience of the beings has nothing to do.
So was the Xindi planet actually had that amount of sentient life forms, the different types of sentient life forms, and they all got together?
Same species, each one subspecies, because you could tell from looking at ridge on head.
So there was that amount of variation. Was there an aquatic species of Xindi?
Yes.
So is there insect, aquatic?
Insect, reptile, humanoid, arboreal, and one time they had avian.
Well, a plant one. Like a...
Never saw blob one. Never saw... Remember other Star Trek with...
The big rock thing and the dock, he patched it with some...
Bones had to use cement to fix up
he had a bag of cement.
Form.
Yeah. So, I was looking at those Planters peanuts, and the last ingredient on there is silicon dioxide. That's sand.
Yummy.
I was like, palm oil was the second ingredient.
That's very terrible.
I ended up throwing it in the bonfire, man. I was like, because I was eating them and I was kind of feeling sick, like how I feel if I'm at a bar eating peanuts and drinking beer. But then I realized that the sick feeling isn't from the beer, it's from the palm oil. And that stuff has to come out of your skin somewhere. I mean, like...
It's not digestible.
No, it isn't. It's not good for you. Puts you to sleep, that stuff. So... 16 minutes after 10 o'clock, you're listening to Atlin Internet Radio. Last songs you heard was Joe Mendelson, Everything is Weird, and it's so nice to be here in Canada. We sung our national anthem. Slippery Salmon, Tibor and I.
Don't forget Matilda, my new girlfriend.
Oh yeah, we got a girl, and we hope it's a girl.
You know, I
she's
like
sitting
the big
on the
girls.
table here.
I like the big girls, the meaty ones.
I like a girl. Yeah, Tibor likes a girl who eats, so that's why her name's Matilda. We're feeding her, and she's dancing around. Prettiest little thing I ever seen.
We give her good vibes all day long.
Yeah. Good times. Last time I checked, this was a rock and roll show as well.
You challenge me? Done like this. I am power itself.
Take 'em all. You take 'em all, the man. And put 'em in control.
What's good for you? Monkey around with fresh sea vibes.
And put 'em in control. Watch him become a god.
Oh, where is my killer? Killer, come home!
And put 'em in control. Watch people's heads roll.
You say one word to anyone and I'm gonna move you. You're gonna what? Move you.
Just like the Pied Piper, then rats through the streets. We dance like the marionettes, swaying to the symphony of destruction.
Past life regression therapy on the spot here. Tibor, what was your previous life? How come you're so big this life? Slippery Salmon's worried about his food dish.
Well, you know, in this life, I actually come from very short people, mountain people. And they were very, very tiny people, used to live in bottom of tree, in small little cave. So, I am very big compared to them. I could not fit in cave. I had to leave home very early because I'm very large. And the reason is, I was told by witch doctor in town that I was actually very small in past life. So, I had to learn in this life why being big is not so good. Tibor bumps head so many times. When you shave my head, it looks like railway tracks. Looks like map with railway tracks on it.
Oh, I've had some head injuries in my time, boy. I tell you what, walking into forklifts, that was even before cell phones. You know, like a forklift is sitting there holding a big engine block or whatever, and I go walking around and just smash my head off one of the forks or whatever. Go hang off of the wall and slobber for a while. And then there's the old drilling rigs where the H2S gas comes out of the hole and just fries my noodle. That's why I play that Eyes of a Stranger song, looking in the mirror. You don't know who the hell you are.
You have never had haircut. Have you ever cut hair when you are doing something very busy?
When I was a young lad, they used to cut my hair so they could look at me with respect. But now I grow my hair out so other people can look at me with respect, not like some trim punk. That's what I was told. It's half a biker thing, half a religion thing.
Your hair is your psychic nerve.
I do believe that, too. Isn't it crystalline in nature?
Your hair is how you get all your impressions.
Held by two metallic... It was a crystal held by two metallic hands.
You're very foolish. Artificial foolishness control. You think you're artificially intelligent? Well, I guess you are kind of, because you got a lot of information side-loaded into you, and you'd love to side-load Tibor or I. But auditorily observe.
You know what is new concept? Retro. In the old days, there was always something new coming along. You never look back and never try to repeat something from past.
No, it's just ridiculous. They just like the name, so they just repeat it. So repeating the past is repeating the same mistakes over and over. Isn't that what Einstein said is insane? Not saying Einstein's the best guy on the planet or whatever, but he had a couple good ideas.
How come every time they make a new one, it's crap? The only one that's better is John Carpenter's The Thing.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
Hey. One credit.
That's all.
So, John Carpenter is great.
His Thing is better than original Thing, they had much better special effects.
He's a progenitor of innovation. You know who I really like is that Bruce Campbell guy. That guy's funny as heck. We need more guys like him and Jim Carrey on TV. Hey, I hear there's a new Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming out, and I mean, Sonic is like, I don't know, like Christ of Nazarene to me, because that's what I grew up with, the little blue blazer blasting across my Genesis, and the Sega Genesis and Sega's, it's got just so much, the 16-bit power it had, and its blast processing with a little blue hamster thing running around. I mean, like, I sure gave Mario a run for his money. Now he finally gets his own movie, and it's coming out, and Jim Carrey's going to be in it. He's going to be the bad guy, Mr. Robotnik, and there's going to be Transformer-style giant robots that Sonic has to fight, and it's going to be a fan fiction nightmare, and they're trying to keep the Sega fans happy, but I seen this one clip I showed Tibor when it's got Mr. Bean. It was a meme where they show Mr. Bean shows Paramount Pictures. Paramount Pictures is the guy that wanted to have Mona Lisa redone in this Mr. Bean movie, so they gave Mona Lisa to Mr. Bean or Rowan Atkinson to repaint Mona Lisa, and he screwed it up. I forget how he screwed it up. He I don't know, left the tap on or something when he was washing it, and all ran away, so he had to repaint it. And he repainted the Mona Lisa with like finger paints and like crayons and stuff. And then he goes to show the guy, and he's like, what is it? And then he shows it to him, and he goes, oh, Jeebus, no! Jeebus Khrushchev, no! Mary, no! He's like, and it's a meme or whatever. He shows him the picture of Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's a picture of like a rodent thing, like off a Disney Pixar thing. It looks like really horrible fur job on it, and it shows him, and he's Paramount Pictures, and he's showing Sega what he did to their character, and he's having a nervous breakdown. But that's basically what they're doing to people. They just make a movie and destroy it to scare the hell out of people. What's the last good movie you've seen? Other than the Star Trek's been killing it. They fixed the series, sort of. What do you think?
I like the Mind Hunter.
Oh, yeah, shop talk. You favor some shop talk, hey?
Big Ed.
That's a good show. Ed. Yeah, Ed Kemper. It's scaring the hell out of people.
That's real horror.
I know, and the real horror is they're making people watch it and then giving them a laugh too, because it's pretty horrible. It's almost as scary as a chicken Terminator machine. At 15,000 chickens per hour.
Michael Manufacturing demonstrated a robot with new image processing functions that can automatically debone chicken breasts at FEMA Japan 2011. This robot can process 1,500 chickens per hour, which is 10 times as fast as doing it manually. The new image processing functions allows it to handle the individual characteristics of each chicken to greatly improve yield. The price of the set of the demonstrated machinery with the standard setup equipment and the optional wing separator is 45 million yen. Dig Info News.
I am from Alberta, and I want that chicken. I specifically want that one. I don't want another chicken. That's the chicken I picked. That is my picking chicken. I want that chicken.
Tibor's talking about...
Give me that chicken. I'm taking that chicken.
We stopped at a gas station in this greasy little town, and some guys... There's a altercation over a Safeway chicken. Usually it's survival of fittest to get the chicken, but it's the talk of the town in this little town we're in. It's the chicken nabber. So I played that chicken Terminator.
Then you got the tent crusher. And the boat torture.
Yeah, that's other stuff that happened in this town we're passing through. We gotta talk about it now, probably after. Anyway, Thin Lizzy, Angel of Death. There you go. I never tell you the song we're gonna play, but that was the chicken Angel of Death. 15,000 chickens per minute. Actually, we're not gonna talk about that last story. But we're gonna play the chicken Angel of Death.
Don't forget Mike the Headless Chicken.
Skip that one too.
You know, I think we're all a little bit like Mike, aren't we?
Not
when
really.
you think about it, Mikey's kind of emblematic. People got the head cut off. They don't know they're still going around.
No, it's pretty literal. It's terrifying literal, and they're gonna do that to a person one day and have a video about it. And it's not gonna be. It's not very good. So.
Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, that's got Johnny Depp in it. He's a sick mutt too. That guy. He's got severe problems that what they do to people in Hollywood. Here, I'll pause this. What the heck are they doing to people in Hollywood and the predictive programming and stuff they got on today?
You know what the Hollywood is? The Hollywood, the wood of the holly.
The wizard stick.
Is the magic wand, the penile projection into the universe of the wizard's hand.
Yeah, but you also can make a magic wand out of holly too. You do the same thing yourself, and then you got one. It's called a holly bush. Take a skill saw, knock it down. It's pokey, got pokey leaves on it. Find a nice stick, and you can make a magic wand out of it.
It's all about intent.
Everyone can do magic. It's just how much magic they can do. That's the secret.
It's about your intentions.
Kill him! No! Enough! We give up! Help!
is he?
I don't know. He's a new recruit. I don't even know his name.
He possessed great skills.
angel of death.
the night that my father died. He was crying out in pain. To his God he said, have mercy, mercy. His body was riddled with a disease unknown to man, so he expected no cure. But before he died that night, he was lost and insane. He went down, deep underground. A great disaster. We'll go down, deep underground. A great disaster. You'll go down, deep underground.
I was nice today. Nice to all those insipid little monkeys.
Answering their stupid letters. And dirty. It will come up!
Giger, the Alien was a collaborative effort. I mean, there was Giger came up with the physical monster, and they had different directors. Story came from someplace else.
Yeah.
But it was like kind of a collective representation of the idea that sex is really dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sex will kill you now. And I interviewed Giger.
Yeah, tell that story. I wanted to ask you about, you just picked the phone up and called the guy. By the way, for folks who don't know who, is it H.I. Giger?
H.R.
H.R. Giger.
He was a Swiss artist.
And he's the guy who came up with these metallic-y, mucusy, in the case of Alien, kind of penile creatures.
He was involved with
that
Crowley,
look really,
wasn't he, Tibor, this guy?
They're just sort of demonic incarnations. They're very disturbing, sort of viscous. It's hard to articulate, but if you see it, you go, "Oh, that okay, I know that guy's work." So you called him.
He created the definitive monster for about 20 years. Everybody ripped off his idea, and he was unhappy about it. So I read through his books. That's where the monster came from. All those drawings, and Ridley Scott loved it when he saw it. So I called him up and I said, "Look, Giger," I spoke to him in German.
You do mention it is kind of like
I said, "Look, you've got all these dead babies here. Whatever the reason, the fetus is the star of this show. The fetus is the monster in Alien, and it becomes even more prominent in the sequels.
It's alarming.
But the first show is the first movie is basically they go on this planet, they walk into this spaceship that looks like a woman spreading her legs, and they're walking through the vagina, okay? And then suddenly John Hurt has this thing attached to his face. And then they drag him back to the spaceship, and it dries, and everything seems to be okay. Yeah. And then there's a famous scene where he's eating dinner, and suddenly his stomach explodes. Well, it turns out that the monster is performed oral sex on him.
Impregnated him.
Impregnated him through his mouth, and his stomach exploded. Well, this is what led me to say Alien is the sequel to Deep Throat, which is the porno film of the early 70s, which is about oral sex, except that it's not fun anymore. Sex isn't fun anymore. Sex is dangerous. Sex will kill you. And everybody loved that idea. Everybody went to the movie. It was cathartic for all of these people who had been damaged by the sexual revolution. And they could go home and say, see, I told you so. It wasn't all fun and games. Somebody finally recognized that fact. And that set off that era of horror movies.
So where'd you get that clip? Yeah.
That is Michael E. Jones. He's becoming quite the internet sensation lately.
So this next story is about Disney. If you jump the gun or whatever, we're going to talk about aliens. We're going to save that clip probably for after. But
look, here's the thing. What I want to know is.
Anyway, Disney bought aliens.
Disney
bought aliens.
Yes.
That's why we're talking about aliens and having all that weird stuff on there. So
how is Disney going to handle this aspect?
It's Gramby, the new movie with Bambi and aliens. When Bambi's mother gets impregnated by a facehugger called Thumper, because they call it Thumper because it makes a thumping noise on the motion tracker, and they thought it was Thumper. And then it gets impregnated and it explodes, and then it has a little deer xenomorph called a Gramby, and they have to, instead of blowing it out of the airlock, they have to blow it out of the forest into the desert and lock it out in the desert until it dries up into a husk. And then Bambi takes the skull after, and then he puts it up on the mantle. And then it's a prequel for the movie Grambies. When Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and Pluto, they all get baseball bats except for Pluto because he's a dog. He can bite the tires and stuff on the loader thing.
Sounds to me like they're going to lose their family rating.
But it's going to be like ghost busting, and Bambi goes back in Grambies. Bambi doesn't want to go back, but they use her as a consultant.
How many things now does Disney
now I'm
have?
watching the train derail.
I mean, how many of these things does it has? Star Wars?
Well, it's going to be great. Well, let's look what this news article says. We do these things, right?
Yes.
The news thing. This one's off of a trusted journalist one, so we're going to have to watch out for Trigger MK Ultra keywords, okay? So this is CNBC. And this is published yesterday on Friday. And it's about the stock of Disney was raised after the streaming service announced would be $7 a month, which is total lie. It'll be that for the first month, and it'll be like $30 a month, I guarantee.
Is it only going to be Disney films?
So the first time Disney stocks shot up was in 2009. They said they'd be $2 cheaper than Netflix basic subscription. So yesterday, the shares went up. They surged 11.5% on Friday, the best single day of trading since May 2009.
Netflix
That's
is
like
screwed.
11 years ago. Netflix shares traded lowered by 4.5%. So they're surprised on the upside of its investor meeting yesterday, providing more financial disclosure, revealing more content, streaming service. It sounds like a commercial for Disney. It's a free damn commercial for Disney. Anyway, we're talking about aliens. They bought the Alien franchise.
Well, they got Marvel, too.
Here, I got a clip. Here, too. Yeah, they already ruined Wolverine. They killed Wolverine. They hypersexualized his daughter in the movie, gave her adamantium claws and everything. What the hell are... She's not even 12 years old. They're nuts for
He had
doing
those
that.
installed. You cannot pass it on to your progeny.
Yeah, it wasn't installed. You're absolutely correct. So, I got a clip here, and it's about Disney confirmed plans to continue the Alien franchise.
Hey everyone, Alien Theory here with a little bit of news. Nothing too much, but enough to inspire some hope when it comes to the future.
This is off Alien Theory, one of my favorite ScrewTube channels.
News pop up in your feed,
what do you think about
maybe you have that
Alien
same
Theory,
hopeful
Tibor?
feeling
It's pretty
too.
good, eh?
The merger with
This is
Disney
close to religion
is
as
a
I
done deal
get.
at this point. On March 20th, everything was finalized and Alien has officially become owned by Disney. So far everything's been alright with my channel, by the way. Mickey, Goofy, and Donald haven't showed up at my door with baseball bats or anything, so I think things are going smoothly in that respect. But the bigger deal, needless to say, would be, now that Disney owns the Alien franchise, what are they going to do with it, if anything? And that has been a major concern.
Maybe it'll just be Goofy that shows up. Oh, you're not going to kneecap me, Goofy, are you? No. Quack, quack, quack.
Who's your favorite Disney cartoon character?
Donald Duck.
The big
I kind of like Scrooge
heroes are the ones that everybody.
My favorite is Harry Horsecollar.
And those are going to be the properties that make the big bucks quite easily. And other beloved franchises, such as Alien, could almost become a casualty of the merger. Sort of part of the whole package deal, shelved away as not to taint the family-friendly image of Disney. Well, it looks as if, one way or another, Disney does indeed have plans to continue the Alien franchise, which I think is great news.
Can't understand what he's saying.
I don't always jump on these news stories. I'm always a little
duck.
wary of following what may or may not be actually solid information, but the news here isn't much, but it looks to be a legitimate tidbit, and the start of some real, tangible information on the future of Alien. Members of the press in attendance of CinemaCon in Las Vegas this week observed a Disney sizzle reel of sorts that gave an idea of what to expect from their owned franchises, and it has been confirmed that Alien is among them. They've taken to social media to share this news. Russ Fisher of Marquee LA stated, Fox's Emma Watts just said there's a plan to deliver new chapters in a set of franchises, including Alien. Scott Wampler of Birth Movies Death tweeted out, Alien, name-checked in passing as a franchise that still has life in it. Nicholas Whitcomb of HN Entertainment says Disney confirmed Alien is one of the franchises they are actively continuing during their CinemaCon presentation. Eric Davis of Fandango says Fox side now teasing more Apes, Kingsman, Avatar, Alien, and Maze Runner movies. These choice tweets.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Who's your favorite Disney character, Tibor? I didn't even get to ask you.
Harry Horsecollar.
Holy moly, that's old. What is that? Was that just after Steamboat Willie?
He was major character.
So, a Horsecollar? What was his name?
Harry Horsecollar.
Well, you never know where he might be roaming around.
Great skills.
And the road becomes my bride. I have stripped of all but pride. So in her I do confide, and she keeps me satisfied. Gives me all I need, and with dust in throat I crave. Only knowledge will I save. To the game you stayed a slave. Rover, wanderer, nomad, vagabond, call me what you will. But I'll take my time anywhere, free to speak my mind anywhere. Smoke my root and rattles anywhere. Anywhere I roam. But I'll take my time anywhere, free to speak my mind anywhere. And I'll redefine anywhere. Anywhere I roam. Where I lay my head is home. what you will. But I'll take my time anywhere. I'm free to speak my mind anywhere. And I'll never mind anywhere. Anywhere I roam. Where I lay my head is home. But I'll take my time anywhere. Free to speak my mind. And I'll take my find anywhere, anywhere I roam. Where I lay my head is home. But I'll take my time anywhere, free to speak my mind anywhere, and I'll redefine anywhere, anywhere I roam. Where I lay my head is home. And the earth becomes my throne. I adapt to the unknown. Under wandering stars I've grown, by myself but not alone. I ask no one, and my ties are severed clean. The less I have, the more I gain. Off the beaten path I reign. Rover, wanderer, nomad, vagabond, call me what you will. But I'll take my time anywhere. I'm free to speak my mind anywhere. And I'll never mind anywhere. Anywhere I roam. Where I lay my head is home. But I'll take my time anywhere. Free to speak my mind
anywhere.
And I'll take my find anywhere, anywhere I roam. Where I lay my head is home. But I'll take my time anywhere, free to speak my mind anywhere, and I'll redefine anywhere, anywhere I roam. Where I lay my head is home, carved upon my stone. My body lie, but still I roam. Wherever I may roam.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Yes, dear listener at home, listeners, your will alone is stronger than the solid-state panopticonic technological socialist regime that seeks to control your very soul and download it into a CPU using the transhumanist agenda, using their giant corporations Screwtube, Fakebook, Zamazog, Sky Noog, and Sleigh Pal, George Soros' Sleigh Pal. Let you know, I'm here to let you know that your will is stronger than crystalline enforced plasteel. Coming up. Oh, and a very special warning. It's 1 minute to 11 and 11 minutes after 11. So in 12 minutes, you hear Rastafari reggae music coming out of your speakers at home when the ones light up on your digital clock or radio or electric stove. Get your matches, your lighter, important document, and some papers, because it's the That's So Late Show, Rastafari Reggae Break. Actually, it's Next Dimension.
Santo, this is Officer Jimmy. Looks like we got 2 Rastafarians down here on I-10. Definitely some marijuana, possibly some
firearms. Need 2 squad cars down here. Looks like we got 2 Rastafarians down here on I-10. Definitely some marijuana. Officer Jimmy. Looks like we got 2 Rastafarians down here on I-10. Santo, this is Officer Jimmy. Looks like we got 2 Rastafarians down here on I-10. Definitely some marijuana, possibly some fire. Definitely some marijuana.
Definitely some Ruderalis.
I haven't got it all doped out yet. Do you mind if I smoke? It helps me to think.
Holy shnikes, I almost never shut it off. I almost kept doing the reggae break. I couldn't stop. It's like it's just reflexes. We're running on reflexes here, Tibor. I become so complacent. I think I've reached a new level of complacency here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, wait! Someone's coming out of the attaché case. Hey, D-Rail, give me the microphone. No, Slippery Salmon. I needed the microphone. No, you're screwing up. You're screwing up the show. You're going to lose the fans. There's people. Oh, okay, Slippery Salmon. Hi, my name's Slippery Salmon. I'm Dr. D-Rail's sidekick, and Tibor, the Moldovan Archon Slayer, he tolerates me. But I know when he's eating my food out of the food dish, he's kind of looking at me too, and he points at the frying pan and stuff, and I'm kind of worried. But at least he prefers me in the pan, not in the can. And so that's good. You guys catch us wild. That's good. Like the bears catch us wild too. But I just want to let you guys know that, I don't know, they're like stealing our river rock, and they're kind of trying to destroy the salmon, like scorched earth policy, like what they did to the buffalo and stuff. And I just want to let you know that I'm really cool. I'm a sockeye salmon. I like to swim upstream, proverbially and literally upstream's water that in British Columbia, and I might be coming to a stream near you, and I'll give you a high fin next time I see you, because you're a...
What do you smoke, Doctor?
I smoke Ruderalis. I can't help it. That's how me and D-Rail started hanging out. One time he was just hanging out and smoking Ruderalis, and I came up and I was like, I smoke Ruderalis too. And he said, how do you smoke Ruderalis? Yeah, I'm talking here, D-Rail. Yeah, but you're asking, because I asked you if you have fins, right? How do you smoke it? I smoke it like normal people. I got a mouth. Just because I got gills doesn't mean you can't inhale through your mouth. You know, you can take. It's called a bong. It's called a bong, D-Rail. All right, let me tell. Well, let me tell. Just take the mic back. Take your damn show back. I'm going back to that attaché case for a while. Anyway, buy a $13 bag of river rock and put it back in a river for the salmon. We like rubbing our tummies on it. We're tough too. Fight bears and stuff. All right, I'm going back to my attaché case. Okay, Slippery. Okay, that last song you heard was Iron Horse for an homage to Tibor's favorite Disney character, Horace. What? Horse? Harry Horsecollar. Holy God! And that was Iron Horse. Wherever I may roam. That's what song it was.
Studies that show that, but I also see ads everywhere now getting everybody ready for microchips in pills. Illegal, but they trick you to sign on to it and waive your rights. Catherine, this is scary. I mean, if this isn't the mark of the beast, it might as well be.
Well, I think we're coming to that point, Alex, and especially now Google's got its new Google Wallet where you can make your payments through your cell phone. Of course, I know you've talked about that on your show. And, you know, we're coming to the point where we're going to be eliminating cash, and this omnipotence that I was talking about, Google wanting to be the mind of God, you know, once that gets together with governments, and, of course, China's been hacking into Google and trying to get a hold of those records, the government knows, because we all log on to their search engine and punch in all of our information all day long. So it's a beautiful honey trap to get people to come on and tell what they're thinking about. By the way, this is a good opportunity for me to give you my really good news.
People of Earth, attention. People of Earth, attention. This is a voice speaking to you from thousands of miles beyond your planet.
It was Buckaroo Banzai's aircraft, and then the dimension barrier. It was Buckaroo Banzai's barrier crossed, and then the dimension barrier.
We got some news here. A future human brain cloud interface will give people instant access to vast knowledge via thought alone. This is off Medical Express. It's from... Imagine a future technology that would provide instant access to the world's knowledge and artificial intelligence simply by thinking about a specific topic or question. It's called your memory. Read some books. Hey, Tibor, look at this stuff. They're trying to sell this. They're trying to sell your own memory to you. Hey, Tibor. They're talking about the psychic internet.
Yes. It's very different now.
It exists. You know, it's like magic is more powerful than science. How Shazam punched out Superman because he could punch at like 67 foe. A foe is a measurement of energy of one supernova. So if Shazam can punch at 67 times a supernova, he could knock Superman out no problem. And Shazam stands for... It's an acronym. It stands for the knowledge of Solomon, the speed of Hermes, the power of Argon, Apollo. And Tibor, do you know? Shazam, and he's a DC character, and he's more powerful than Superman. And
Zeus.
He was a 15-year-old that met a wizard, and the wizard granted him powers. The Z is for Zeus, yes, and the M stands for Mars or something.
You notice Tibor speaks Canadian, not American. I don't say
Tibor's
Z.
been in Canada for quite a long time.
Almost longer than Canada's been Canada.
Pretty much. So they're talking about the psychic internet, neuroscience international collaboration led by researchers at UC Berkeley and the United States Institute for Molecular Manufacturing. Predicts that exponential progress in nanotechnology, nanomedicine, artificial foolishness, and computation will lead this century to the development of a human brain cloud interface that connects brain cells to vast cloud computing networks in real time. Well, I hope it'll just be all ads.
Yeah, it won't be free.
No, it'll cost money. And
yeah, you get nanobots on the brain.
Yeah.
That guy Ray
You'll be like Leland, where he's like,
this guy, this
I'm going to give you a
Kurzweil
shot.
Guy. He is very much like, he thinks that he can become like God just by taking his consciousness and putting it inside the machine.
Shazam has talked to a wizard, like Tibor is a Moldovan wizard. He can talk to Solomon anytime he wants to have a lengthy conversation with him. That's why he's so smart too. He can pause time and talk to Solomon anytime. Like, Tibor can do that. It's magic. It's in his bloodstream.
Nano-robots are evil.
They are. You know, it's just garbage technology. They talk it up a lot. But when you get it, it's just going to be a basic laptop in your bloodstream with no storage capacity.
You know a story of White Elephant, and P.T. Barnum had the White Elephant. It was you know why we call things White Elephant? Because
he painted it.
You get this special thing is White Elephant, and then you take home, and it costs way more to take care of, and it breaks your back, and it's very terrible, but sounds great at the beginning. So this is kind of like White Elephant. Not so good, it seems, on surface.
That's true. You know, there's elephants that had tusks on their chin before, but they didn't develop because they couldn't use the tusks to fight. But the tusks on their chin were really helpful for them to like dig up roots and eat plants and everything. But they didn't survive. Like how the reason why you don't have any walking sticks in British Columbia is because there's so many rats. The rats ate them all. Rats eat all exotic species. There could have been massively exotic species here before the rats got here. There could have been like fairies, for God's sakes. We never know what happened.
When Tibor first came to Canada, he used to marvel at all the toads and frogs, and life was everywhere, every place, in ditch out front of house, in backyard, even in basement, everywhere you look, little creatures running around. They're all gone now.
Yeah, like looking out your back door like CCR, sort of, right?
Yes.
It's pretty quiet now. Maybe it's because they receded further into nature because of humanity.
I must go look at my newt pond. I have special pond on mountaintop where I have newt friends. I go visit them.
Two episodes we went down there to go see the Northern Lights, to see if there's Northern Lights from that solar flare. Remember?
It's a beautiful place up on mountain. Lots of croaking going on right now, I tell you.
Oh yeah, lots of frogs.
Guess what time it is?
I'm gonna have to guess.
1, 1, 1, 1.
Oh, you know what that time that means? Good music comes from people who are relaxed. Right, Tibor?
Hit it.
Of course. I should have guessed instantly. It's all the fault of that woman, Andrasta.
Yes, Doctor? You were saying...
I was just saying, Lady Andrasta, that... Kainana, I thought you were meant to be guarding her.
Apologies, Master. I am immobile.
Yes.
I was overpowered by the wolf weeds.
Doctor, order your doctor.
Definitely some marijuana. And definitely some marijuana, possibly some firearms. Need 2 squad cars down here.
1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Yahoo! Yahoo!
Is down here on I-10. Definitely some marijuana, possibly some firearms. Need 2 squad cars down here.
And now for a smoke. No, this is good. Smoke. And now for a smoke. No. This is good.
Smoke. One of Jamaica's password, one of the most highest potential of culture that relieve the spells of evil. In the beginning was the word.
And people is going to be in demand for the truth.
Tear down Babylon. Joshua, brand new was a Jericho. Ready.
In the beginning was the word.
Life is a road with a lot of signs. Sometimes you perceive, next time you lived in Judah. Stayed on my grind. You open my mind. If you seek, then you shall find. But I've been labeled as a rebel. Some coming basic on no shame. I've been chased by every devil. Stop, look in my book. Oh, now labeled as a rebel. Some coming basic on no shame.
And I make sure you don't come talk to I because of a light in I flash.
You try.
So many names that got me. They are China army. I'm a soldier from the army. Still don't fight. Still don't read, still don't write.
Yo, man, you're smoking weed to save the whole world. It boosts your IQ.
Coming basic on no table. I've been chased by every devil. Stop, look in my book. Label as a rebel. Coming basic on no table. I've been chased.
I see you, man, boys, 4.5.
Look in my book.
Smoke it, we did to save the we did. I can't do it.
Let's find some of that weed and get back to the palace. Find some of that weed and get back to the palace. Sorry, Cringer, but I need the weed.
And people is going to be in demand. Apologies, Master. I am immobile. I was overpowered by the wolfweed. Overpowered. I was overpowered by the wolfweed.
A partnership for progress. Whether you like it or not. And now for a smoke.
You're like, yo, man, you're smoking weed to save the whole earth. It boosts your IQ.
Let's find some of that weed and get back to the palace.
All right. Listen up.
They smoke these bomber-clad, grass-clad, blood-clad, and every kind of clad you can think of is a bad word and indecent language. Yeah. And the band come here in Jamaica, so why is it indecent? So I went on an investigation. And once upon a time, I found myself in some circumstances held down by some spiritual vampires that my mouth couldn't move, my tongue couldn't shake, my hand couldn't move, and the only thing could make me move is say, move your bumbleclot, and I'm free.
All right.
Yes, I. And from that day on, I never stopped saying bumbleclot.
Stuck. Smoking. Good smoke. Burn up. See, good water pipe. Here. Smoking. Good smoke.
That water bomb so smooth, you don't realize how high you're getting.
I show you.
So it's too late.
Smoke this in your pipe. This in your pipe. Your pipe.
I shouldn't call you stoned. I apologize that. It had the sound of somebody who'd been smoking marijuana.
What do you smoke? You'll be interested to know how the doctors of America answered that question.
Water bomb so smooth, you don't realize how high you're getting. It's too late.
Leave it to Johnny Depp to introduce vaping to the wizarding world.
It is a kind of weed. Then one may smoke the weed. Smoking the weed. Then one may smoke the weed. And through the first whiffs, with the delight of a lover of smoking the weed. Smoking the weed.
You are
Then one
beginning
may
to
smoke
feel
the weed.
yourself slipping into the hypnotic state.
Smoking dope.
Wow.
A partnership for progress.
Whether you like it or not.
You're probably all still very disoriented.
And I'm gonna load my bowl to celebrate this glorious moment. Oh, glory, glory, marijuana.
Wait, I want to ask the person, doctor. Do you smoke? Have you smoked marijuana?
To inspire himself, he lit up a marijuana cigarette. Excellent Land of Smiles brand. Time? The clock on the dresser. 11.
Good.
Specially
11.
selected and specially processed for good flavor into smoke.
11. Good grief.
Well, if I don't smoke herb, I'll be one of the most destructive elements. See?
Yeah.
And every time I smoke herb, it makes me construct something that is very constructive and, life and elevating to people's mentality.
Now, here we go. Fire in the hole. Oh, yeah. We begin high now, boys and girls. That we be doing. So, nut folks. Hopefully you're high. Because it's always time for smoking marijuana. Some people try to tell me, this is not an appropriate time and place to be smoking marijuana. And I'm like, I don't know where this guy comes from, but it's always an appropriate time and place to be smoking marijuana. And anyone who tells you differently, folks, well, they're not very nice people, And you should try and part ways from such scumbags. So anyways, fire in the hole.
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
The stone that the miller refused will always be the head cornerstone. Sing it, brother. The stone that the miller will always be the head cornerstone.
Artificially foolish.
Don't you pick and refuse. 'Cause the things people refuse are the things they should use. Do you hear me? Hear
big hit here. Oh, yeah. So until next time, folks, keep smoking the holy herb. You know I will. Peace out.
I shouldn't call you stoned. I apologize that. It had the sound of somebody who'd been smoking marijuana.
Wipe the shiny metal ass. That water bomb's so smooth, you don't realize how high you're getting till it's too late.
Open up, man. I got the stuff.
It is a kind of weed. Then one may smoke the weed. Smoking the weed. Then one.
Let's find some of that weed and get back to the palace.
Start with a cocktail?
Well, I don't think so. I feel like I'm loaded already.
I may not be a movie star, I don't drive no fancy
kind of weed.
And now for a smoke. No, this is good smoke. And now for a smoke.
Real fast.
That the Citizens Agency for Joint Intelligence.
Seeing cars down here. Some firearms. Need 2 squad. And definitely some marijuana. Possibly.
Firearms. And definitely some marijuana, possibly some firearms. Marijuana, possibly.
You're like, hey man, you're smoking weed, dude. It's gonna save the whole earth. It boosts your IQ.
Let's find some of that weed and get back to the palace.
I don't like this.
Sorry, Cringer, but
it's not a Michael Jackson bumbleclot element. And not a little lamb with the next one named Prince element and them kind of little big bop bumbleclot element. It's too wet. It's too black for them.
Tougher than concrete, there boy, balaba juice, watch ya, check it, boom, you know what I mean, me dip out a whole 14, know what I mean, and reload my next magazine, know what I mean, and moon did them housing scheme, know what I mean, tougher them a move sideways and lean, know what I mean, can't come out when man they eat, know what I mean, we not like them colonial regime, know what I mean, Ethiopia not like Mussolini, know what I mean, me queen up the rock and come in, know what I mean, and jump on me big trampoline, know what I mean, and boost up our self-esteem, know what I mean? If I want the home and kitchen so clean, know what I mean? And which recipe that I steam, know what I mean? The lyrics them a flow like a stream, know what I mean? Make you feel like you're living in a dream, know what I mean? It come to the crap, man, a cream, know what I mean? It come to discipline, man, a dean, know what I mean? Me tougher than a home and limousine, know what I mean? We step in, we fresh and we clean, know what I mean? I burn the stinkest of green, know what I mean? Better listen up careful and keen, know what I mean? I put on as a rock and come in, know what I mean?
We celebrate like I finished probation, boy. Naughty head with no chaser, boy. From the mouth, I can spit out a razor, boy. Open up your face, you like your boy.
As long as you're a black man. The mind and nationality, you've got the identity.
And when I get so fucking upset, I don't bother blood clot talk English bomber clot grammar. Cause them things they get me very bomber clot upset. See? And all because, you know why? I am not singing darling, I blood clot love you and come shake my rasp and I swim the ocean and climb the mountain. See? And that not going to change me. See? Because I am going to kill the fuckery out there. And people is going to be in demand for the truth. People is sick and tired of hearing bomber clot, get down, shake your fucking booty. See? People is sick and tired of hearing darling, I blood clot, love you. You turn on the fucking radio 24 bomber clot hours a day. You hear darling, I love you. A man wouldn't sing to the almighty ras clot. Him love him woman more than the creator who create the sun, the moon and the bomber clot star. I sick and tired of hearing that bomber blood clot. Sin.
yeah, man, you're smoking. We did. It's gonna save the whole lot.
When on in England where jungle come from, no fire the woman and it no fire the man. Brave on a rock and put your lighter in your hand. If you a junglist article man, you coulda live a not even South London, coulda live a East or even West London. Hey, you coulda live a country, you coulda live a Japan. It no matter you a junglist man. Get it up. Yeah, place like a more. Boom. You know, it's hardcore things all the while. Yeah. Cool profile, yeah. A boy think we laugh and smile. Yeah. We look and send a roll, boy.
But it's not a Michael Jackson bumbo class element. And not a little lamb with the next one named Prince elements. And them kind of little big pop bumbo class element.
Yeah. When on in England where jungle come from, no fire the woman and it no fire the man. Hey, yeah. Brave on a rock and put your lighter in your hand. If you a junglist article man, you coulda live a not even South London, coulda live a East or even West London. Hey, live a country, you coulda live a Japan. It no matter you a junglist man. Get it up. Man, you think one like you wicked. Come in and the data test it hardcore massive. But you must be mad, must be stupid. Any boy think them better talk to it. Yes, we don't shot it, tag it and kill it. Test the hardcore and then we put off the parade. Just come back, look on the jungle college. Test it bad boy and then you hold it.
Because I am going to kill the fuckery out there. And people is going to be in demand for the truth. People is sick and tired of hearing bumbo clot, get down, shake your fucking booty.
Don't surrender and don't retreat. Any boy that them will lick out the feet. Hardcore massive, them a bad boy a street. Any boy that they must get this. Respect maximum, you and junglist man. When you push up your life, you hold it up in your one. Coulda live in a north or even East London. Coulda live in a south or even West London. Them a go like them harder, but the boy them a fraud. If I that them a deal with when them out of the yard. Junglist a deal with boy if a boy a camouflage. Big guns pop off and we massive and large. It don't shot it. Yeah.
It's not a Michael Jackson bumbo class element. And not a little lamb with the next one named Prince elements. And them kind of little big pop bumbo class elements.
And them a go like them harder, but the boy them a bad. And if that them a deal with them out of the yard. And the hardcore massive a deal with camouflage. Jump and suck out and make them big gun for. We don't shut it and shut it, put it in a body belt. Tell me you not them is way anger them mad. Wicked the way wicked and now we get mad. Any boy just a them we but kills. Yeah.
And tired of hearing darling, I blood clot, love you. You turn on the fucking with a 24 bomber clot hours a day. You hear darling, I love you. A man who sing to the almighty rat flat. Him love him woman more than the creator who create the sun, the moon and the bomber clot stars.
do know, if you're in front of somebody that will not partake, you're probably dealing with an undercover.
Friend and former Texas lawman Barry Cooper, say hi to everyone.
Hello.
Everybody knows he's not a cop thief. Former Texas lawman.
Hit. It's impossible to simulate that. To counter this, insist that the person you suspect take a big bong hit. It's impossible to simulate that.
And I'm Mark Emery of Cannabis Culture Magazine here.
the Citizens Agency for Joint Intelligence.
No more trouble. No more trouble. I say, what we need is love to guide and protect us on. If you're up, look down from above. Help the weak if you are strong. You don't need no trouble.
Localized concentration of metal artifacts suggests high technology. Insufficient data.
Yeah, you never fucking know the answer, and it's important.
Holy shnikes, 11:49 p.m. 11 minutes remain in the next dimension. 11 minutes of the 181 minutes we promised you. That hereby concludes your Rastafari Ruderalis Reggae break. The next dimension, Atlan Internet Radio, AIR14. The last song you heard was Bob Marley and the Wailers with Peter Tosh. War No More. And then we had Congo Natty off Jungle Music. New music style called Jungle. Congo Natty, Alaska Ride, The Tenor Fly featuring. Before that we had partial song there, Damian Marley with Nas, till Nas started singing, or whatever the heck he is, NES. I didn't realize it was so horrible. I shut it off. I couldn't believe it. Usually we got it all researched out. For that we had some Black Uhuru. Spongy Reggae. And they had a really quick one there, Cornerstone with Marley and Tosh. So it was off the album Jungle. Jungle Revolution. And the first song we played was also Congo Natty. We had two Congo Natties in a row. Off Jungle Revolution. It was Rebel. A lot of Marley cuts in there. I'd request to play some classic Marley, so that's what you get. Now this is what we try and think of what kind of news we forgot to cover on this April 13th. Episode of The Next Dimension. The weakening of the Earth's magnetic field has accelerated by how much? I don't know, maybe it'll get more magnetic. They say it was more powerful back in the day. Old Celtic legends talk about using ley lines and lasers to fight for the goddess Danu. I don't know if that's real, but I talk about having a warp spasm. I'm probably on my way to having a warp spasm. It's beyond a nervous breakdown. It's when you warp out like the Hulk. Well, that'll be just to fight robots one day. When you least suspect it. So, what was your favorite song? Mine was probably that Joe Mendelson one.
Another radar fence stretches across the long, unfortified border between the United States and Canada. The Pine Tree Radar Fence. And beyond that, still another network of electronic eyes. The Mid-Canada Radar Fence. Even farther north, in the very shadow of the North Pole, this fence, the distant early warning system known as the Dew Line, ready to transmit the first warning signal of a sneak attack across the polar regions.
Studies that show that, but
I can't remember if it was Sergey Brin.
They're attempting to build a computerized crystal ball. Is their holy grail?
Yeah, it's insanity, and then you combine that with what Google's up to. You know, speaking of Google, I can't remember if it was Sergey Brin or Larry Page, but one of the founders of Google said, when asked, "Hey, what do you want Google to ultimately become?" They said, "Like the mind of God."
There are many. Each of us exists in present time in parallel universes. One universe. There are many. A multiverse.
South of Colossa lies an accursed island inhabited by whaling...
So what was your favorite one? The Joe Mendelson one or what, Tibor? I know we got Megadeth on there and stuff, and Slippery Salmon didn't really have too much to say this show.
I like the Harry the Horse Color song.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was Iron Horse picking on Metallica. I think that was a pretty good one. So, anything left? And we got another weird news story or something, Tibor, or anything? We got anything left? World's biggest airplane takes flight for the first time ever. Okay. Strato launches rocket launching plane took off early Saturday morning and safely landed 2 hours later. That's one we never had. It's a giant plane that looks like those cool... Looks like the mosquito... What was the mosquito plane? It had 2 fuselages and 1 giant wing across it.
It's like the Bimber Flying Wing, only this got 2 fuselages.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I forget what it was called. I remember we used to get the foam airplane in the kit, and then every now and then you got the... I think it was the Thunderbolt or something it was called. So the world's largest airplane took flight for the first time ever on Saturday morning, built by rocket launch company Stratolaunch. The 500,000-pound plane with a 385-foot wingspan lifted off shortly after 10 a.m. Eastern Time from Mojave Air and Spaceport, Mojave, California. It was a critical first test flight for the aircraft. Designed to launch rockets in orbit from there, the inaugural flight lasted for 150 minutes, according to the company, after which the plane safely landed. The dual fuselage Stratolaunch is designed to fly at an altitude of 35,000 feet where it can drop rockets that ignite their engines and boost themselves into orbit around the planet. There is no rocket on this particular flight, but the company has already signed at least one customer, Northrop Grumman, which plans to use straddle launch to send its Pegasus XL rocket into space. Sounds like Megas XL, the giant robot cartoon. Those filthy robots!
Further resistance will be dealt with in the same way.
The prisoners will proceed into the ship.
Holy shit. I can't believe it.
Well, it's fun about a UFO. A guy's taking pictures of some drone. Oh no, the guy's taking pictures. This is a video Tibor's playing, and the guy's just taking multiple pictures of the plane flying over, and he's in awe. I don't know what to tell you, listeners. There are some people think I'm going to tell you a hard fact of life. No one told me when I was born. It doesn't really matter what you do. The chronology of the universe or existences are so minuscule and brief they won't be measurable, significant in any way. So it doesn't matter what you do. Sometimes it won't count unless you really, really try, because your will alone is harder than steel. I stay busy working at fighting the robots so I don't destroy or hurt other humans. If that's the way we lose, I'm not going to make it easy for them. And yeah, some corn. We got some corn, finally. We can kick back, Slippery Salmon. Slippery, come on. Your Gorn show's on. You're going to watch the Gorn kill Shatner this time.
Don't touch me with that scaly skin.
It's all right, Tibor. I'm just coming up to the computer. I want to see the Slippery Salmon. D-Railz, sign off, quick. Before they shut you down. Guarantee him you're going to be back. Oh, okay, Slippery. It's 11:59, British Columbia time. Perhaps 1 or 2 minutes remain in this next dimension, AIR14, April 13th. Stay tuned for next week, the next dimension with Dr. D-Rail. 420, the 420 show coming up, the next dimension. Next Saturday, April 20th. Be there. Yeah, be there, man. I'm Slippery Sam. I'll be there. Tibor, Moldovan, Archon's there. My pal D-Rail will be here. Yeah, Slippery, you tell him. Hasta la Windows Vista, baby. I'll see you next Saturday in the next dimension. Kirk, I see you hiding behind that rock. I can see your boot from here. I've heard every word you've said, Kirk. Got the sharpened piece of crystal. Yeah, D-Rail, he's gonna get him. The Gorn's gonna get Kirk finally. Yeah, watch Slippery, he's gonna get him. He's gonna run him down for sure. Man, I can't wait till 420. I can't wait till next episode, the next dimension. I guarantee it'll be super special. Slippery Salmon. What do you think, Tibor? 420. See ya, 420. This is Slippery Salmon signing off. I'll see you upstream. And don't be a corporation like Skynoog or I'll smack you with my tail. I don't work for money, your electronic money. I work for scale. Because I'm slippery. I'm Slippery Salmon. Look at that Gorn. I like me that Gorn. I like the color of the scales on him. He's a nice looking Gorn. I think that captain, he's a little too smoochy-feely with the rest of the crew. I don't think that Spock fellow appreciates him too much. I think they're just going to enjoy watching the Gorn walk him down. Yeah, like that bipartisan politician guy is creepy. And that even the other guys on their side had to tell him to quit being creepy. But that